All right, today we are diving deep into the brutal but incredibly effective philosophy of David Goggins. Now, this isn't going to be about life hacks or any quick fixes. What we're doing here is distilling the framework for building just unshakable mental toughness, straight from the man himself. So, it all starts with this fundamental question that Goggins basically forces every single one of us to confront. Why do we settle? Why do so many of us walk around, as he puts it, not knowing the power that's in them? That's the core problem we are going to unpack right now. And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of the conflict, doesn't it? It's that comfort of being normal, you know? The safety of being mediocre versus the insane potential that's waiting on the other side of pain. Goggins' whole point is that way too many of us have just become fine with being average. To really get how to break out of that, we're going to follow a really clear path. First, we're going to diagnose what he calls the quitting mind. Then we'll talk about the decision to invent a stronger self. After that, we'll get into the methods, why discipline crushes motivation, and how to embrace the suck. And finally, we'll get to the outcome, realizing that you are the purpose. So, let's kick things off with the diagnosis. See, before you can build anything strong, you have to understand the weak foundation you're starting with. And Goggins has a name for that foundation, the quitting mind. So what is it really? Well, it's that state where life, as Goggins says, hijacks your mind. All the failures, all the disappointments, they just pile up and you just let go. Your ambitions kind of fade, you forget your goals, and it's all because the mind has been allowed to get soft. And the symptoms, they aren't these huge, dramatic collapses. They're subtle. According to Goggins, this is what a softening mind looks like day to day. Showing up to work just a few minutes late. Not having your clothes laid out for the next day. It's all these tiny little concessions that just stack up over time until life owns your mind instead of the other way around. Okay, so that's the problem. But right here, this is the turning point. This is the moment where you make a conscious decision to fight back by literally inventing a new version of yourself. Goggins saw his life at a crossroads. He could just stay who he was, or he could consciously invent Goggins, a whole new person who could actually withstand the pressure, someone who was built for the fight. You see, it wasn't about finding himself, it was about creating himself. And in this comparison, it shows you exactly what that choice looked like. I mean, on one side, you've got the person he was, totally haunted by the man he'd never become. And on the other side, you have the invention, this mentally strong force that was built to fail and fail again over and over until he succeeded. This idea just completely reframes the whole concept of failure. For Goggins, it's not some negative thing, it's not the end. It is simply proof of effort. If you aren't failing, you aren't even trying. It's not failure, it's just the first or the second or the 10th attempt. So, how do you fuel this new self you've created? Well, the answer isn't what most people think. Goggins' method is built on choosing discipline over its flimsy, unreliable cousin, motivation. We all think motivation is this permanent fix we can just grab onto, right? Goggins says that's a total myth. Motivation is just the kindling for the fire. But discipline, that's the fire itself. It's what you do when you are least motivated. It's learning to perform without needing some big purpose. Just because it's what you do now. It's your new norm. So how do you build this discipline? He lays out a really clear, if brutal, path. First, you just have to accept that it's going to be ugly. There's not going to be some spark of passion at the start. Then you just do the reps, especially on the bad days. You just keep doing it over and over and over again until it becomes like breathing. It's not a choice anymore. It's just what you do. And that leads us directly into the second part of the method. See, it's not enough just to be disciplined. You have to actively go looking for the hard stuff. You have to learn to embrace the suck. According to Goggins, almost all of us are just coasting, right? We're using only a tiny fraction of our real capacity. He believes there's this extra 80% that we're not tapping into for one simple reason. It's uncomfortable. So what's actually inside that untapped 80%? Well, it's everything we're conditioned to avoid. Suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt. It's darkness. And this is the crucial part Goggins makes. That darkness is also where you find the light. You simply cannot get to one without going through the other. And really, it all just boils down to this one simple, brutal truth. There's no shortcut. There's no magic trick. The path to growth is literally paved with suffering. It is the price of admission for becoming more. Okay, so after all of this, diagnosing the quitting mind, inventing a new self, embracing the suck, where does it all leave you? Well, it leads to the final and most powerful realization of this entire mindset. The outcome is what Goggins calls savagery. And this isn't about aggression, it's a state of mind. It means being haunted by the idea that someone somewhere is outworking you. It's this constant internal drive to do the things that nobody else is willing to do. This quote captures it perfectly. He's out running in 100-degree heat. Some guy pulls over and asks him why on earth he's out there. And the answer is so simple but so profound: because you're not. His motivation comes directly from the unwillingness of other people. That right there is the savage mindset in action. And this brings us to the final core realization. So many of us, we look for some external purpose, a 5K, a promotion, something to achieve. Goggins argues that's a total trap. The number one purpose in your life is the constant quest to better yourself. The purpose is you. It's his signature sign-off, and you know what? It's so much more than just 2 words. It's a command. It's a constant reminder to yourself: stay ready, stay disciplined, and never, ever leave the fight. Always. So we're going to leave you with this question from Goggins, which is really, when you think about it, the great divide between human beings. It is easy to be great when things are going your way. But who are you on the days when you're sore, you're depressed, and everything is falling apart? The answer to that question? Well, that's who you really are.